Hey guys, it's Heather from Here She Grows, and today I'm working on improving the soil in my raised bed vegetable garden. I have two raised beds. They're about 8 by 4 feet each, and the soil, I've never been completely happy with the soil. It's heavy, it doesn't drain as well as I'd like it to drain, and it just doesn't have a good texture to it. So I was trying to think of ways that would be very cost effective, so affordability and low maintenance, and cover cropping is the way to go. Now, before we get into what cover cropping is, I also want to mention that I also amend the soil every fall. So I mulch the leaves that have from our trees, so that gets a layer of leaf mulch in here, and also I top it off with a nice amount of compost, maybe about 1 inch of compost on the soil too. But I still want to keep improving it every fall, and fall is a great time to cover crop. So what's cover cropping? Cover cropping is selecting seed, whether it's a grain seed or a legume seed, that has qualities built into it that will naturally benefit your soil in an organic way. So when I was looking for a cover crop, I was looking for something that would accomplish a couple different things for me. And what's interesting about cover cropping is you can choose the seed based on what your ultimate goal is going to be. So for me, like I said, I wanted to improve drainage. I wanted to loosen up the texture, the density of the soil. And I also wanted to fix nitrogen. So I chose a product from Botanical Interests, and you can contact, and most seed companies have cover crops seeds available for sale. So I went through Botanical Interests. They had a seed mix that I thought would be best suited for what I'm trying to accomplish here. So I chose their pea and oat mix. But I did reach out to them just to verify that what I was leaning toward was the right choice for me. So, and the right choice for me is something that's very low maintenance too. I don't want to be back here coddling it all year long. And the pea and oat mix was the best thing for my raised bed garden. So what peas do, peas a legume, so peas naturally fix nitrogen. So nitrogen is constantly in flux in your garden, and it's very hard to quantify. You can read more about this over on the blog. I wrote about this a couple weeks ago at heresheggrows.com, so where I dive a little deeper into what all this is. But peas fix nitrogen just like the legume crops do. And then grain crops like oats, they have deep root systems, and those deep root systems help to break up dense compacted soil, which increases water filtration, and it also adds biomass, which is just basically a fancy way of saying green manure, or more or less you're growing your own compost, I guess you could say. So I'm doing it I'm adding compost in a very easy way and something that's very low maintenance. And fall is a great time to do this because that's when your bed is dormant pretty much. I've gone and cleared both of my raised beds. I'm not going to grow anything in these food crops in these till the spring. But fall is a great time to do it because I don't have to worry about timing. Timing is not such an issue. And what I mean by timing is if you were to do a cover crop, which you can certainly do, you can cover crop in the late winter, early spring, but there's also a time constraint there because you have to allow so many weeks for your cover crop to grow, and then so many weeks based on the crop that you choose for your cover crop to break down into the soil. So some of these cover crops, like oats, have an allelopathic quality, which means they release a chemical when they're breaking down that inhibits other seeds from germinating. So say I wanted to grow early spring crop, I want to grow some salad greens and some radishes and some carrots. I direct sow all those things. And if I were to do a cover crop in the springtime, there's a good chance, if I don't time it right, that cover crop, if I'm using something like oats, is going to inhibit the germination of those seedlings. So by doing it in the fall, I'm avoiding all that because I'm not growing any food crops here. I'm not worried about that. And it's extremely low maintenance too. I don't have to do any digging and turning for this crop. So depending on the cover crop you choose will determine when you should sow your seeds. So they recommend here sowing pea and oat crops 6 to 8 weeks before your first average fall frost, and when temperatures are below 88 degrees. So we're there finally. It's been really hot. So I'm cutting it kind of very close. I'm a little late to do this, but what I might have to do is after I sow these, if we've got some frost expected, I might have to cover these so they will continue to grow. In which case I'll just take the cover off in the daytime, no big deal. I chose this crop because it is incredibly low maintenance and it doesn't require me to turn the soil. I don't want to disturb the soil too much. I don't want to dig too deep in it, and I want to keep it as no-till as possible. This is going to allow me to do that because it's very easy to grow. So once this flowers, when it's at its flowering stage, it is at its peak for being the most nutritious. The sugars are in the plant and it's ready to release that into your soil. So that's when I'm going to cut this back. I'll cut them off, and it's nothing more involved than just a snip with my shears. So I'll let it do its thing, I'll let it die back, and then it's got the entire winter to break down into the soil and feed my soil. So it's a really easy process, and for just a couple bucks, I'm replenishing the soil. And this is probably something that I might do every couple of years, if not every year. I mean, you don't have to. It's just something I'm experimenting with, and it'll be interesting to see how my garden does next year. So, and what the soil feels like next year. So let's get started. So I should mention too that when I cleared my vegetable bed, this was all tomatoes and peppers this year, I don't pull the entire root system out of my plants. So there are a lot of stumps and roots left in here, and that's all a great way to benefit the soil. Those will also decompose and feed the soil. So I leave that intact. I don't worry about ripping out entire root balls for these pretty big tomatoes that came through. So I'm just loosening it up a little bit here. And then I'm just going to cast it about. And I tend to overplant anyway. A little bit of an overachiever, I guess, but I'm just going to spread this all over the place. I'm not super particular about it. And then I'm just going to work it in just ever so slightly. It's about a 1-inch depth. I'm just going to scratch the surface with it to get them all mixed in nice. And then we go get the hose to water it in. So all that's left to do now, guys, is just water it in and pretty much wish it well. So I want to stay on top of my watering because like any seed that you sow, you don't want it to dry out. So I'll make sure it's watered well. And hopefully in a couple days, these guys will germinate and I will have a nice cover crop going and some really great soil for next year. And if you like this video, please subscribe and hit that little bell, and then it will alert you anytime I release a new video. So thanks for watching, guys, and hope you have a great day. And do try cover cropping. And this is also translatable into maybe you want to start a new bed. Maybe you're thinking about digging a new bed this fall and you want to improve the soil a little bit, cover crop it. Contact Botanical Interests or any other seed company that you like to buy your seeds from. Most of them have cover crops available, and chat them up. Find out what would be best suited for your situation. And thanks for watching.